What's up, Thrashers, and welcome back once again to the Thrash Maniac 99 YouTube channel, and I am back with another album review. I first of all want to apologize for the lack of reviews last week. I was dealing with computer problems, but now they're fixed for the most part, and here I am back with reviews as scheduled. And today I'm going to be talking about the latest offering from Necrot with Lifeless Birth. This comes out on April 12th. Yeah, April 12th on Tank Crimes, and this is their third studio album overall. I became a fan of this band courtesy of their last album, Mortal, which came out in 2020, and that was a fantastic album, like lots of old school death metal nods in there, and, well, spoiler alert, you get more of that on this album, more just ugly, evil-sounding, old-school death metal, and it's kind of appealing to, like, all the different death metal scenes in the world. The Florida death metal scene, the Swedish death metal scene, the British death metal scene, even little touches of Swedish death metal can kind of get peppered in here and there with Necrot's sound. But we kick this one off with Cut the Cord, and immediately I get Morbid Angel tremolo riffs, which give me all those all day long, because these are evil sounding and they just know how to channel that evil atmosphere pretty much throughout their entire career thus far. Does get a little thrashy here and there on this track, but also one of the things that I love about this album is the triplet chugging that's going on. Then there's even some like little melodies that get kind of peppered in there towards the end of the song before you get some more sinister sounding riffs. And I will say, across the board with the lead work on this album, it's varied. Like, you get some couple songs where there's some more shred going on, lots of dive bombs, kind of like that Morbid Angel vibe or early Bolt Thrower vibe, where it's just all about just dive bombing on the whammy bar or the fretboard and just go absolutely insane with it. Or even on one track, which I'll get to later, has a more atmospheric lead. But yeah, Cut the Cord, I think, pretty much set the tone for what the rest of this album has to offer. And what the rest of this album has to offer is crawling riffs, double time stomps, triplet chugs, blast beats, tremolo riffs, pretty much everything you love about death metal. Like, even the title track, Lifeless Birth, starts off almost like incantation, where the tremolo riffs feel rather apocalyptic, plus blast beats on top, before you get into those double-time rhythms of Bolt Thrower, which you get pretty much on most of the songs on the rest of the album, some Bolt Thrower double-time rhythms, and then some more chunky riffs, like more chunkified and rough around the edges. But then all of a sudden, and this kind of gets peppered in on a couple of tracks here and a couple of tracks there, little moments of melodic death metal, like whenever the riffs, they get a little more kind of, I wouldn't say epic, but more triumphant and more melodic, which I like those little touches that get kind of peppered out, or peppered in throughout the album. Then this track, Superior, this one, they kind of experiment a little bit with the rhythms, like lots of off-time rhythms, but they keep the nasty tremolos alive. Crawls of death is what I would call this song when it comes down to the riff work. Just crawls of death, almost like a big giant man-eating spiders crawling over your body before it bites your head off and digests it out its anus. Or I don't know where I was going with that. Anyways, but also this track showcases some more groove, which groove starts to become more of a thing as the album goes on. Then Drilled the Skull. This one, kind of, I would say, is arguably the doomiest song of the album. Like, the first half of the track, it's really doomy with some crawling riffs here and there to kind of add a little bit more of that evilness to it. But it gets chuggy and gnarly and groovy, and it grooves almost in the vein of Gatecreeper, I would say. Like, I could definitely hear Gatecreeper doing a song like this for sure. It does speed up in moments when the blast beats and the tremolos come along and it gets back to the double time, but the tremolos towards the end, they harmonize almost like black metal-ish, which was a nice addition to the song itself. Winds of Hell, this one great nasty tremolos, triplet chugs, almost like Cannibal Corpse. Like, this song has a lot of Cannibal Corpse vibes going on, and it gets back to being thrashy, little off-time rhythms here and there, and the syncopation on this track in particular, and anytime you hear like syncopated chugs and rhythms and riffs, definitely you can tell these guys know how to play their instruments. This one, the leads get more into the dive bomb terrain, but there's some tremolo harmonies and melodies, again, to kind of feel more melodic death metal or even black metal-ish. Dead Memories, this one has pretty much almost everything you want. Double time grooves, stomps, crawling riffs, blast beats, a doomy breakdown, some shred, and harmonized melodies. Before we get into the closer, The Curse, which was over 8.5 minutes, this one definitely has the most Morbid Angel going on for it. Well, it feels like Morbid Angel meets Bolt Thrower. Like, you get the double time rhythms of Bolt Thrower, but with the riffs of Morbid Angel, and it stomps along quite nicely, I gotta say. Triplet chugs galore, and this is the track where you get more of those atmospheric leads and some more black metal tremolos, again, towards the end of the song, and it kind of ends off on this, like, heavy, chunky riff to kind of bring everything to a close. Production-wise, it's raw and rough around the edges, but the mix, the bass, you can definitely hear the bass. While it's playing more or less along with the guitars, at least you can hear it separate from the guitars, which is a real big plus when it comes down to the sonics of this album. Definitely, whenever seeing the title and reading some of these lyrics, I'm thinking, is this a concept album about a dead fetus that somehow was still birthed out of a demon's womb? I kind of feel like that's what they were going for with this, but I digress even further. But as far as any complaints, perhaps maybe a couple of the songs kind of follow the same mold, but that mold is a mold that I love because I love old school death metal. So really, that's not really a complaint. That's more of an added bonus for me, at least. So overall, I think some of the best death metal riffs I have heard thus far come from this album. I am going to give this 4.5 out of 5. This is another fantastic offering from Necrot. I still need to get the debut album, Blood Offerings. I have Mortal, it's fantastic, but this one, I don't know. I'd have to listen back to Mortal and then check out Blood Offerings to see if this is truly the best thing Necrot has come out, or the best thing Necrot has made. Who knows? But of course, those are just my opinions. What did you guys think of Lifeless Birth by Necrot? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, share, subscribe. It's good to be... Wow. I almost puked right there. It's good to be back doing reviews after taking a week off. But until next time, keep your horns high and your dreams wet.